When they gave the farms away in Zimbabwe, you know what happened?
What?
Everybody starved. You know why?
Because no one knew how to farm.
Exactly. And in China and in Russia, you know what they did? They said, these people who own the farms are the bourgeoisie. They weren't. No, they called them something else. I can't remember what it was. They were like the wealthy peasants. So they got rid of them and then gave the farms to the actual farmers. And guess what? Or to the workers. Mm-hmm. The workers didn't know how to farm.
Same thing.
Everybody starved.
Yep.
Right.
So it's
well, that's another thing we don't do anymore as humans. Like, you know, back in the day, if your dad was a blacksmith, you were a blacksmith. Your son was a blacksmith. Your grandson's a blacksmith.
That's why your name was Smith.
Exactly. Right. So
or you could be like John's.
We don't do that
or
anymore. We were raised. I remember being a kid, like, you could do anything you want. And I was like, I want to be in the Air Force. And they're like, you're colorblind. You can't.
Yep.
And I was like, but I want to be an astronaut. I want to fly in space. They're like, sorry, no. And I was just like, well, all right. There goes that.
Maybe
but most people are taught you can do anything you want, and people believe it. They're like, I can do anything I want.
I can't.
I don't want to work for it, but I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's like, you got to work for it.
So here's what you do. When you were told that you couldn't be an astronaut, then you go to school for biology to find a cure for colorblindness. Something that you could.
Good point.
A treatment that would repair the. So my understanding of colorblindness is like the cones are pressing against each other.
Okay.
So it makes it hard to differentiate. So like humans are trichromats.
Okay.
We have 3 cones and rods or whatever. I don't know a whole lot about it, so I'm probably getting it way wrong for those that do. But the general idea is that I read something where it said the cones are kind of like pushed together, so it like decreases your ability to differentiate between certain wavelengths.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a treatment that can be done via surgery or something that all of a sudden, boom, there it is. It separates. And then you, with a disadvantage, work towards curing it for everyone else. People have done this. There have been a lot of stories of people who were told, because of this, you can't do that. And then they went to school to fix it. And that's their contribution. But the reality is, yeah, man, but you couldn't be in the NBA either. Like,
Whoa. I'm actually quite good at basketball.
But you can't be in the NBA, dude. Well, okay. That's actually a bad example.
Pretty good at basketball.
Because you could train.
I probably couldn't be. No. Honestly, if I trained, I'm not saying I'm NBA worthy, but I'm pretty good at basketball. I like playing basketball. I grew up in Chicago. I was like a teenager watching Michael Jordan crush it in my town. Like, we owned basketball in the 90s. It was awesome. So I was a big basketball fan.
To be fair, the NBA is something you can dedicate your entire life to get fully built to be in it regardless. But let's say you were born with one leg. It's like, what are we going to do? Are we going to change the rules and be like, you got to allow it?
No, it doesn't make sense.
It wouldn't work. And that's what a lot of these weird, people on the left think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
They don't understand that we're not created as perfect androids that are built to spec.
To do anything we want.
Yeah, they call it the blank slate theory.
Oh, yeah.
All humans are the same and they're programmed.
This is not true.
No, it is not true,
all.
man.
So not true.
Did you know that humans raise their arms instinctively when they succeed?
No, I didn't know that. That's kind of cool.
You know when people win something, they'll go, yeah, and they'll throw their arms in the air?
Yeah, definitely.
They know this is inherent human behavior that's not taught. Because people who've never, blind people still do it.
Wow.
People blind from birth, like kids, will do the same thing.
So they've never seen it.
They've never seen it, but they'll do it.
That's cool.
And so
That's
they're
so
like,
cool.
I like that.
right. So they can track things that are inherent to human behavior, and it's obvious, man. Like, how come all the cats do the same things? They're not taught to be cats to scratch things.
It's in their genes.
They scratch.
It's in their DNA.
Yeah, I think look, there's a mix of environment and nature and nurture. There's a mix of nature and nurture.
Yeah.
I think my understanding of a lot of these studies, which is not an expert, I'm not a biologist or evolutionary psychologist, is that the variance in nature can be easily overcome by nurture. Meaning, you can take any person and nurture them to be successful. But genetics do play a role in everything about us, including intelligence. And a lot of people don't want to talk about it because it's considered controversial or whatever. But Sam Harris, are you familiar with Sam Harris?
No.
Well, Sam Harris he's a neuroscientist or whatever.
All I know is that he's an atheist. I don't know what his specialty is.
He's a very, very famous podcaster.
Okay.
He's the expert. And he had some conversation where he very simply said, if we know that genetics play a role in our development, I think he did. I want to make sure I'm not misquoting him, but my understanding of his argument was, because he did it with like Ezra Klein of Vox or something. He said something like, if we know that genetics plays a role in everything about how we're developing, why wouldn't it play a role in our cognitive capabilities? That doesn't mean that there's certain people who are too dumb to function. It just means that it plays a role. It's not, it shouldn't be controversial. And
simple truth.
My understanding of it is some people are going to be smarter, some people are going to be stupider. It's not necessarily about race. It's about, how do you describe it? It's about certain clusters of, genetic happenstance that are either smarter or not. And sometimes it is in one area and not in another area. But ultimately, my understanding of it is that it can be overcome by nature. And I think that's true. I think people can make choices and choose to be better, choose to be great, choose to better themselves, and they can choose not to. It's about free will,
Okay.
But yeah, long story short, the people that are taking over these organizations, the people who want to abolish the police, there's no rhyme or reason to what they're saying. So we'll wrap up these thoughts and jump over to Super Chats. When it comes to abolishing the police, that should be evidence to everybody that I'm sorry, man. We're done here. We're done. Every time I've said, hey, that idea is stupid, the Democrats are adopting a dumb idea. And people have been like, well, I kind of understand what they're saying with this one. Okay. Tell me what they mean by this. Can anybody?
I don't want to get rid of the police. I don't get it.
We can entertain the conversation of community policing and stuff, but to actually campaign on abolish the police. I laughed so hard when I heard they wanted to disband the police in Minneapolis. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
So it's what do you do? You get mugged. You're like, I guess I'll just die. You're not gonna call. You're in your house and someone's breaking in. You're like, well, how far did I make it? 34 years. It's been fun.
Well, 2A.
Exactly.
You gotta have a gun.
And that's the counter. That's like, okay, you know what? This normally wouldn't work, but we shouldn't be relying on police for everything anyway.
Yeah.
We should be like, come in my house. And like that, was it Polk County Sheriff?
Yep.
I'll blow you out the door.
Yep. And he's telling his residents, that's what I'm suggesting to them, to blow you out the door. And it's like, wow.
That's a deterrent in itself.
It's crazy that it's a scaling problem, these mass shootings, because we've always had them. I guess per capita you can see differences.
Yeah.
But because we have so many people and mass media, dude, when I went to Glenn Beck's studio last year, he's got all these really, really old newspapers on the studio walls in his building. And one of them, I was reading a story from like 1850 or whatever. And it was a story about a guy at a bar, a saloon. And some guy walked out smoking a cigarette, pulled out his flintlock pistol, put it in the chest of the guy and shot him for no reason.
Wow.
I guess that's an argument for, I don't know what year it was. It was a long time ago, and it was like
Holy cow.
Flintlock pistol or some ridiculous nonsense.
Jeez.
And I don't know if maybe it wasn't a flintlock pistol. I don't know, but it was
hardcore.
like he shot him in the chest, and it was like these things have happened. The Wild West, man. You know, we watch movies about the guy walking in and being like, "The sheriff can't stop me. I'll put a bullet in anyone who stands in my way. You." And then they have a showdown. Dude, dueling used to be legal too.
Yeah.
I was thinking about dueling. I was thinking like maybe it should be legal,
No.
Why not? Two people, mutual combat. You know that mutual combat's legal in a lot of places, right?
Really?
Yeah, like if you tell someone to take it outside and they agree, they don't arrest anybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's mutual combat.
That's insane.
Like you guys agreed to fight. Not every jurisdiction has this, but some states are like,
seriously?
But what are they going to do? If two people are like, don't you do this, I'll hit you. And it's like, oh yeah, buddy, you can't do it. I'll see you outside. And they go outside together.
Two grown consenting adults, man.
Two grown consenting adults went outside and punched each other.
Okay.
Who do you arrest? Both of them?
Wow.
Some places probably would. But I don't know, man. I don't know if it's a libertarian concept challenge of dueling. If two grown consenting adults say, I want to duel to the death, it's like
there would need to be like dueling pits so that they don't stray bullets don't go flying, killing random innocent
dueling
people.
Arenas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean,
that's going to be like a new sport.
Can you believe they used to do that? Like, it seemed like life was so, what's the opposite of precious? I don't know.
People were very cavalier about their lives.
Yeah. They were like, well, I'm going to die anyway. I might as well have a duel now at the age of 19.
Yeah.
So I won't die when I'm 35 of some kind of illness.
Yeah,
that's Billy the Kid.
That's the the Family Guy joke where it's like they did a flashback episode where it was like the 1700s or something, and Peter like stubbed his toe and like got a slight cut, and he goes, well, I have a small cut. I'm going to die of the infection. So like, that's it.
I had a good run.
Yep. He's like, well, I'm 19 years old and I just got an infection. Now I'm going to die. That's how it used to be. Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's not like that anymore.
No, it is not. We're very lucky.
We are in a time of like we're all blessed.
I don't know,
that we
man.
don't think about it. We do have.
I'd be willing to bet if you went back in time and grabbed Mr. George Washington and brought him back here, and you were like, did you know that dueling is illegal? He'd be like, what? Why?
Yeah.
You know, and he like they owned people back then.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things we got rid of that would shock them that we can't do today. So for the better. But the thing about dueling though is consenting adults. Like, shouldn't consenting adults be allowed to do what they want with each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is your body yours? It's crazy. You know, Trump signed the right to try bill. You know what that is?
You could try medicine that's not approved yet.
Yeah, if you're dying.
If you're dying and you have no other choice,
like,
right?
why was that illegal in the first place?
Yeah, that's
Seriously.
legit. If I was dying of some weird rare disease and they were like,
Try
well,
everything on me.
we have this experimental drug that has worked, but it's not approved yet. And it's like, I
If
want
I-
it.
Hit me.
Hit me with it.
If I was dying and they were like, we're going to try this therapy and it failed. We're going to try this next extreme therapy. It failed. Well, we got this experimental therapy and it failed. I'd be like, what haven't we tried? Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to die in 20 minutes. Give me the bleach.
Yeah.
I'll take literally anything
Yeah.
with a 0.0001% chance of saving my life.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
You could help someone else too.
Yeah, so Trump talked about, is there a way we can, put some, what did he say, disinfectant under the skin?
Yeah, some kind of disinfectant under skin. People ran with
And
it.
everyone went nuts and got angry at him. And I think it was a silly comment, but it is. They do have treatments where they take UV lights and put it down into your lungs and stuff.
Yeah.
Weird.
And H2O2, hydrogen peroxide, you could argue is a disinfectant under the skin. But the point I'm making is, if I had some kind of like contagion and everything failed, bro, you're not going to stop me from trying something. If you're like, you're going to die right now, there's nothing you can do about it. We have no treatments. I'll be like,
All right. What should we try?
I don't know. Bleach kills these things,
You got
right?
You got any ideas, Doc?
Yep. I'm a guinea pig.
Try it on me.
I'll
Yeah,
take whatever.
man.
You got crystals? I'll take crystals, man.
Take the healing crystals.
Bring in the crystal lady. Have her rub crystals and acupuncture. We'll just go for it. I'm gonna die.
Sound therapy.
Whatever, man.
Ancient
Yeah.
Do it
Egyptian
all at the
sound
same time.
vibration.
Yes.
Yep. Drop me from. Bring me into a 0G a plane, free falling with acupuncture, crystals, those suction cup lamps all over my body,
All at the same time.
and I'll be in a ketogenic diet while I'm doing it. a vegan ketogenic diet. Just do everything.
It's not possible, but yeah.
But no, but it's crazy that we have laws saying like you can't do that with your own body.
Yeah, I don't get that. It's my body.
Well, hey man, Trump signed that bill. That's a good thing.
Yep.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.